Imagine a 13-inch laptop that costs as much as a high-end MacBook Pro, doesn't even have a dedicated graphics card, and yet somehow manages to trade blows with an RTX 4060. That is the wild pitch behind the ASUS ProArt GoPro Edition PX13. And the crazy part is that it actually lives up to the hype. And also it ships in this insane but very GoPro appropriate container. This isn't just another Windows laptop with a brand name slapped on the lid, because the GoPro collaboration goes way deeper than a simple sticker. ASUS actually baked real software integration into the hardware to make this perhaps the most purpose-built machine for creators on the market today. And when you're looking at a $3,000 price tag for a 13-inch device, you have to ask if the performance justifies the investment or if you're just paying for a fancy name. Now, the first thing you notice about the build is that this machine has a very specific personality. CNC machined grooves run across the lid in the exact same pattern GoPro uses on its cameras, and while they look cool, they actually serve a functional purpose by giving you extra grip when you're pulling the laptop out of a bag or just carrying it around. The entire chassis is made of aluminum and carries an MIL STD 810H rating, meaning it survived tests for drops, extreme humidity, and even sand. Now, since this laptop is designed for people who edit video in the middle of nowhere, having that kind of durability in a frame that weighs only 2.8 pounds is a massive win. Even the unboxing experience feels intentional, featuring modular foam packaging you can use for gear storage and a hard shell sleeve that includes specific attachment points for a selfie stick. Now, a rugged frame is great for a peace of mind, but for $3,000, the screen needs to be professional grade rather than just good enough. So the display here is a 13.3-inch 3K OLED panel, which covers 100% of the DCI P3 color gamut, and since it comes Pantone validated with a Delta E under 1, it's a screen you can actually trust for serious color grading. However, you do run into some limitations because the refresh rate is capped at 60 Hz and the HDR brightness peaks at just 500 nits. That, to me, was disappointing. That brightness ceiling becomes very obvious the moment you step outside into direct sunlight, and if you are used to high refresh screens, scrolling on this touchscreen does feel a bit sluggish by comparison to something like a MacBook Pro. Now, it isn't exactly a deal breaker for a creative workstation, but it is something you'll notice every single day. Now, this brings up the biggest question of all. Can a tiny laptop without a dedicated GPU actually handle 3K footage without stuttering like a slideshow? This is where the hardware gets fascinating, because ASUS ditched the traditional NVIDIA chip from the previous model and replaced it with the AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395. While that might sound like a downgrade on paper, the integrated Radeon 8060S delivers performance that roughly matches an RTX 4060 in real-world tasks. The real magic happens because of the unified memory architecture, which allows you to assign up to 96 gigabytes of the total 128 gigabytes as shared VRAM for the GPU. No traditional laptop with a separate graphics card can offer that much video memory, which gives developers running local AI models a massive advantage. And if this sounds familiar, this is pretty much the playbook Apple's using with Apple Silicon in the MacBook Pro and Mac Studio and all the Apple Silicon Macs that we've seen over the past 5 years. I usually run my own heavy editing workflows on an M5 Max MacBook Pro these days, and previously to that being released last week, an M4 Max MacBook Pro. So when a Windows machine actually makes me stop and pay attention, you know something interesting is happening. Raw power is only one part of the equation though, because a fast chip is useless if the software gets in your way. And this is the exact point where the GoPro partnership stops feeling like a marketing gimmick and starts feeling like a tool you will actually use. The creator features are where the collaboration really pays off, especially with the dedicated F8 hotkey that launches the GoPro player the second you tap it. You also get StoryCube, which is an AI media app from ASUS that connects to your GoPro cloud to organize footage by location and device automatically. You can drag clips directly from that interface into Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, and the dial pad on the trackpad lets you scrub through timelines with your fingertip. Now, once you get used to adjusting color sliders without reaching for a mouse, going back to a standard trackpad feels kind of like a big downgrade. Now, all of these desktop-based workflow features are impressive, but this is called the Adventure Edition for a reason. The real test for a machine like this is whether it can survive a grueling day in the field without forcing you to hunt for a power outlet every couple of hours. So when it comes to longevity, I recorded 11.5 hours on the PC Mark X battery test, which puts it literally at the top of its class for this level of performance. Video renders finished about 58% faster than they did on last year's PX13, and video encoding has seen a 47% speed increase. And that's all thanks to that new AMD silicon. Oh, and even though this isn't marketed as a gaming PC, it still managed to hit 82 frames per second in Cyberpunk 2077 at 1080p, so it can definitely handle some entertainment on the side. The only real frustration you'll encounter is the fan noise, which get loud enough to hear pretty easily under a heavy load, and it is enough to be distracting in a quiet room. Now, at the end of the day, a $3,000 price tag puts this laptop in direct competition with the 16-inch MacBook Pro equipped with an M5 Pro chip. So we have to be honest about that comparison because the MacBook is still gonna win when it comes to raw DaVinci Resolve speed and overall battery consistency as well as fan noise. However, the ProArt offers a touchscreen, active pen support, and a 360-degree hinge that lets you flip the screen around into a tablet. These are simply features you're not gonna get on an Apple laptop, no matter how much money you have to spend, making this a very compelling alternative for a specific kind of creator with specific types of needs. If your workflow depends on a touchscreen, pen input, or GoPro integration, this is easily the best Windows creator laptop you can buy today. Just keep in mind that the small screen and loud fans will get annoying if you never leave your desk. If you want to check it out for yourself, I'll have a link down in the description below. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I will catch you in the next video.